Hi everyone, my name is Renee from H.E.R Entrepreneur. Today I'm going to share with you on personal branding success through LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my screen and the slides. I'll show you what are some of the learning outcomes for today. All right, hope all of you can see this. Okay, so this is today's topic and how to boost business success through LinkedIn. Okay, these are the learning outcomes. First of all, we're going to understand the basics of personal branding, how you're going to develop a positive online and offline presence that builds trust and credibility, how you can showcase your expertise and thought leadership through credible sharing on LinkedIn, and understanding the wonders and possibilities of boosting your personal brand on LinkedIn. So these are the course outlines. First, we're going to talk about the traits and mindset of successful individuals, how to build a personal brand, offline versus online branding, personal branding strategies on LinkedIn, and how to portray a positive image on LinkedIn. Now, first of all, traits and mindset. Now, do understand that if you're not a brand, you're just a commodity, right? I don't think you want to be known as the thing, the person who just knows how to do certain things. You need to be well known for your area of expertise. So you need to build your own personal brand as well. And branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room. What sort of person you are, what sort of branding you are, and people talk about it. So like Gary Vee, he talks about how it is important to build a personal brand because it's the only thing you're going to have. Your reputation online and in the new business world is pretty much, the game. So you've got to be a good person at the end of the day. You can't hide anything. And more importantly, you've got to be out there at some level. You can't be an unknown. So what is a brand? Now, brand is a personal promise. And that includes things like your name, your term, your design, your symbol, or any other feature that distinguishes yourself, your organization, or your product from all of your other competitors. So what do all these brands have in common? So we've got Google, Facebook, Coca-Cola. Have a thought about that. Now, you would have thought that the commonalities that they have are they create an expectation of quality. When you look at the brand, you think that it should last. There should not be errors when you use Google. And they create an expectation of superior benefits. They provide a defining experience for you, and they can provide a quick association of positive attributes that influence a desired behavior or action consistently. So what's the first brand that comes to mind when you think of? So if you think of sports shoe, what is the first brand that comes to mind? If you think of toothpaste, what would be the first brand that comes to mind? I'm sure there will be that first brand that comes to mind because these brands tend to stand out. They are seen more often. You are more familiar with these brands, and therefore you can remember them. So how about you? Do you establish a quick association of positive attributes with those who come in contact with you? Are you able to influence a desired behavior or action in your favor based on who you are perceived to be? So why do you need a brand in the first place? So this is one way to cultivate your business, to cultivate an audience through a personal brand. It helps you establish a platform for becoming an influencer or thought leader within your community. And it helps people to build trust and familiarity because they see you often enough and to form positive associations with your corporate brand. Your personal brand can influence your corporate brand as well. They have to be aligned. So how do you build a personal brand? A brand is you, and that is your image, your mission, your values, and your vision. Okay? And your image, meaning how you look, how you dress, how you seem, your mannerisms, your mission, what do you stand for? What do you hope to achieve? Your values, what do you believe in? What do you strongly believe in? That's you. And your vision, meaning what do you have in mind in time to come? In 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, what is your vision? So success in personal branding has very much to do with how you are being perceived by others. And it is also about the mirror you look into, how you use the reflection you see to shape the life you live. Okay? So always look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this how you want others to perceive you? Your look, the way you talk, the way you present yourself, the way you write, especially on LinkedIn, on social media platforms. How are you being perceived? Do you rant on social media? Do you comment unnecessarily? Do you post pictures that are controversial? So that reflects a lot about oneself. So some basics of your personal brand. Now your brand is about your character as well, your story, your brand story, your values, and marketing. Marketing is about how you market yourself. Are you on social media? Do you build content? Do you attract clients? What is your goal? Do you end up having to acquire customers? Do you have a sales funnel? Do you need to protect the brand and things like that? So these are the basics of your personal brand. Your brand, marketing, and what is your desired goal. And you have to act accordingly based on your business. So how much time do you spend building a liking to yourself so that others can buy into you? Have you thought about that? And most people pay attention to other brands more. It's much more than they pay attention to their own personal brand, right? People pay attention to what bags they carry, what shoes they wear, what clothes they wear, but they do not think about, how they seem as a brand. So, well, you need to start thinking about that if you want to achieve success. So what's offline versus online branding? Offline personal branding is how you are in person, how you speak, behave, what you value, how you interact with others. It is the authentic you. When someone meets you face to face, that's offline personal branding. That's how you are as a person. What you wear, how you portray yourself to others, what kind of sharing you do, what kind of conversations you hold, what kind of things you say. So it is important to know who you are. It is the key to understanding yourself. So who are you? So I'm just going to let you do a short exercise where, you could pick 5 words from the next screen being shown. Just choose 5 words that best describe yourself and write it down. Okay, so just write it down on a paper. 5 words, any words, if you see them repetitive words, it doesn't matter. It's meant to be there. You just need to pick 5 different words that you see and write it down on paper. So go grab your paper and pen right now. Okay, so I'm going to show you the screen. Okay, so these are the different words. Just pick 5 of them. I'm just going to give you a few minutes to do this. Okay, don't have to think too much. Just look through the words, pick 5 of them, and then write it down on a piece of paper. That's it. Okay, all good. Now the next step is I'm categorizing them in columns. So look at where you have circled most of the words. Do they belong in the column D, I, S, or C? Okay, if you see a lot of words in D, then just put a big D there. You see a lot of words being circled under I, S, or C, just put the appropriate alphabet there. If you have equal numbers of maybe 2 words in D, 2 words in S, for example, just put D and S. 2 words in I, 2 words in C, just put I and C, for example. Okay, it really doesn't matter. This is just an exercise. Okay, so what does D, I, S, or C really mean? So D means you're a really direct person, high in dominance, direct, decisive, you're a doer. Too much of it, you can be quite domineering and demanding. Okay, and if you're high in I, influential means you're quite inspirational, you love to talk, you're interactive, but too much of it, you can be quite impulsive or irritating. All right. So if you are high in S, means steady, you're really stable, supportive, and sincere. But too much of the trait, you may be quite slow and sensitive. If you're high in C, compliance, means you're cautious, careful, and conscientious. You don't like to make mistakes. So too much of this trait, you could be calculating and condescending. So these are just different, possible traits. Dominant and influential are more active people. Compliant and steady, they're more reflective people. But influential and steady are people focused, while dominant and compliant are task focused. Okay, so now you know a little bit more about yourself, what kind of person you are. So do understand that if people do comment that, you're of a certain trait, you're quite something, that's because you show that trait quite a bit. And so by completing this short exercise and test, at least you know how you are as a person naturally. So when it comes to any situation, it is quite easy for you to react in that dominant trait. Okay, so creating you, so you need to understand what you want to be known for. Is it who exactly you are based on the study, based on the profiling of your traits, or you want to be known for something else? What is it? So you need to create that you, right? So what you want people to say when you're not there, they're referring you to others, they're introducing you to others. Okay, would it be positive? Definitely you want positive things. But what kind of positive traits? Think about it. So connecting you is identifying the connection between your passion and your brand, right? If your brand is a dull, serious brand, but your passion, you yourself, you're a very fun, loving person, you're hyper, you're full of energy, but your brand is a total opposite of you, then it's a little difficult. There's a disconnect there. So do identify the connection between your passion and your brand. And personal branding is really about living your life to a code of consistent attributes that transcend work and play. So it's not just about how you are at work, but how you are as a person when you're not at work. Over the weekends, when you're doing fun stuff, what are you? So the next thing, I'm going to talk about personal branding strategies on LinkedIn. Okay, there are different social media platforms that you can leverage on to increase your personal branding, to share information, to share content. So how do you do it best on LinkedIn? It is a professional social media platform. Now, LinkedIn has become the foundation of our personal brand. our potential clients, employers, partners, usually they'll have to check our LinkedIn profile to verify our education, experience, interests, recommendations, and common connections. And well, as we all know, LinkedIn is the professional networking segment with regional competitors, insignificant regional competitors. So it is like the key monopoly, okay? So why should one be on LinkedIn? There are many reasons why. I mean, recruiters, human resource professionals are on LinkedIn. There are lots of job listings. This is where you receive and give endorsements and testimonials to people. This is where you make important business connections. You join professional groups that include like-minded people. You reach out to the people who are viewing your profile. And this is where you establish your expertise. So therefore, you should be on LinkedIn if you are not on it, right? Facebook is more casual. This is where you connect with friends, but LinkedIn is where you connect with professionals. Most probably professionals who are in your field, professionals who are your potential clients, partners, prospects. So that's really important. And the power of employees' personal brands on social media. Now, when brand messages are shared by employees on social media, you get 561% more reach than the same messages, shared by the brand's social media channels. So it should be shared by people, individuals, rather than just the brand's channels, which is maybe your page. And it is reshared 24 times more frequently when posted by an employee, a person, an individual, versus your channels and your page. And employees have 10 times more followers in their company's social media accounts. So you should, at the end of the day, still have a business account, your company's account on social media. You should set it up regardless, because then you make yourself more searchable. However, when it comes to sharing of information, it should not just come from the company's page. It should also come from the individuals. And there will be 8 times more engagement than content shared by brand channels or page. So let's talk about a professional social media presence. Think about how many connections do you really have on LinkedIn? And if you say that you're not active, meaning, how often do you go on LinkedIn? Are you there every day? Are you there every week? Are you there every month? Are you there every year, or what? So if you're not on LinkedIn platform often, you probably don't have many connections, right? So how often do you visit LinkedIn? How often do you post on LinkedIn? Now, being on social media is not just about tracking others, looking for information. We should always think about giving back to the society, giving back to the community, giving back to the people whom we are connected with. So do understand that, you have a circle of influence, and that's you. You start with you, okay? And when you create an individual status update, your network connections will start receiving this information and their connections, okay, which could be the group members, the company followers, it overlaps, and they will receive your information as well. So that's great, because you get to proliferate the message that you wanted. So you have your group and your company page. In a group, you can create group discussions with your group members. And your company status updates is just your company followers or employees. So there are different things. Your company page is information about your company, about your employees. Your group is like an interest group. This could be a group of people, similar-minded people, people with similar interests, topics to talk about. They fall under the group. Okay, so there are many existing communities or groups out there on LinkedIn, which you can easily search. So go and join the groups as well. So what does being a subject matter expert look like? Now think about, does your headline really make you stand out? Do your job titles create a sense of continued growth and accomplishment? Does your profile summary define your accomplishments? And are you a member of the groups that someone in your position should? So all these are quite important. You make sure that you have a full profile, meaning a good professional mugshot of your face, a nice picture, and a well-written description about your experience. You should have it all on LinkedIn. Okay? And are you following the right companies, or are these just randomly picked? Right? You need to follow the right companies, meaning they are your potential customers, for example. Okay? And is your headline building trust? Headlines are visible in search results, in groups, updates, and even emails. This is just an example. It's random. You know, you can pick any examples on LinkedIn. You go search for people and you see how they write their headlines. And this guy wrote about, he's a keynote speaker on creativity and digital innovation. He's a writer, he's an entrepreneur. You can be more specific. Some people will put their job titles and then their company names. That's fine, as long as you are searchable, because there would be many people with the same name, right? Many people the same, first name, last name, but how do they know it's you? So make sure that you clearly differentiate yourself from the others. And next, does your summary tell a professional story? So speak to your target audience, be very clear what your professional journey is through the whole description on LinkedIn. And you need to convey your strengths, your knowledge and experience, how you can bring values, not just to an organization in which you are applying for, but also how can you bring value to your customers. Why should they trust you? Because you have good experience in what? So you have to be really clear in your description as to your experience, who you are as a person. You know, use the first person point of view. Use your, short second, like 30 to 60-second introduction as your summary. It's a short one, like an executive summary, you call it. No, it's just a summary of your CV, right? So how to define your personal brand? Now think about it. This is just a short exercise for you. Think about how you want to define it on social media, on LinkedIn. What type of content will you be posting? Okay, that is relevant to your role in the organization, that's relevant to the business that you're in. Written, visual, pictures, videos, doesn't matter. But what content? What are your values and how do you want to get them across? If you strongly believe in something, such as going green, being environmentally friendly, so these are your values, then how do you get them across in your messages, in your content sharing? Who is your current audience? Who are you trying to attract? You have to be really clear yourself. Then the messages that you create or develop would be relevant for the audience. And what do you want to achieve with your brand, right? You have your personal brand, you have your corporate brand, so what do you want to achieve from it? Of course, it's a positive outcome, but what sort of positive outcome? Think about it. And what are you most knowledgeable and passionate about? If you're knowledgeable about a subject matter and you're extremely passionate about it, you can easily share this information online without having to scratch your head, right? So that makes posting on social media less scary and really easy for you. It just takes a few tries and you get used to it. Okay, I know it's going to be difficult for people who are not used to posting, but they're just there to, just track the people that they're following, read, but they don't share things. You just need to attempt it. Okay, so what tone of voice would you like to use? Happy tone, cheerful tone, no nonsense tone, serious tone, jovial tone, angry tone? I don't know. There are different types of tone of voice that you would like to use in your messages. Okay, so the choice of words in your message must be really clear, and that reflects that tone of voice. If you're a fun person, you want to use a fun tone of voice, then the words that you choose are less serious, they're more casual, they're more fun. And how will you best communicate your message to your target audience? Is it because you're going to tag someone? Are you going to hashtag or what? Okay, how do you want to convey that message? And who are you? What is your position in the industry? People will wonder, why is this person sharing things on this topic? Who are you? And then they will click into your profile and read more. So you have to be clear in your description on exactly who you are and what is your position in the industry. If you are a leader in that space, don't be worried to shout out, right? So this is a short exercise for you. Do spend some time to think about it. It's gonna take up some time, right? To help you define your own personal brand, okay? So to take some time. It's not gonna take you just 5 minutes to do this. So when you're free, reflect back, okay? So I'm just gonna move on. If you like, you can take a snapshot of this slide and come back to it. All right. So what exactly to share on LinkedIn? You can share about your blog. This is like my blog. So how many views, how many likes, how many messages, you can track that. So you can write articles and share your blog. You can share your video content. So for us, we do video content quite regularly on educational topics, on various topics to educate, inspire, and empower entrepreneurs and leaders. And I share it on LinkedIn. And do share your credentials. If there are times when you receive an award, there are times where you're featured on media, don't be shy, share it across. That's how you build visibility, right? Every little achievement counts, so don't be shy, okay? And if you're involved in any activities, any events, it is good to share as well. Post the photos, so that people know that you're involved, you're highly involved in the community and the industry. And that, allows you to be at the top of mind recall whenever people think of you or think of a certain area in which you're an expert in, right? So never be shy. And the other thing that I also want to share is you have to engage with the commenters. There are people who have viewed your videos, people who have read your content, and then engagement. Engagement, it really depends how you want to define engagement. It can be likes, comments. Now, if they give a comment, they're highly engaged. And if they give a comment, don't stay silent. It is always advisable that you respond or respond positively. Regardless of the comment, good or bad, always respond positively. If you don't have a good answer, then you don't have a good answer, just say so, get back to them. But if you have something to share, please do. Don't keep mum and ignore the comments that come in. You can like their comments and reply them. So what are the benefits of LinkedIn? Well, the two key benefits, as you can clearly see, is LinkedIn has helped people with research. So you could do data mining. You could research for people and their companies. You can also easily reconnect with past business associates, colleagues, partners, and that is important. Of course, the rest, which are less in terms of percentage, we've got building new relationships, we've got uncovering potential job opportunities. It does happen, yeah. Help you increase branding, marketing presence, increase your face-to-face networking effectiveness, and help you generate identifiable business opportunities. Now, the funny thing is that it's not direct, right? It's not like today you post something, tomorrow you get a response from someone to give you a business opportunity. It doesn't happen that way. It is through constant kind of sharing, and people realize that you're good at certain things. And when the time and when the opportunity arises, then they will know who to look for, and they'll look for you. Naturally, be it a job opportunity, be it a business opportunity, a partnership opportunity, people will write into you and message you. So always be active on LinkedIn, check your messages, and be involved, really. So the next thing is lead generation. How do you lead gen on LinkedIn? You can always create that list of social, professional, recreational, or whatever groups that you have been a member of, including former employees, colleagues, employers, college alumni, sports teams, kids activities. Well, there are perhaps groups like that, but not really on LinkedIn. That's more for Facebook groups, right? But you can always find opportunities to generate well, we don't call them generate leads for this case, but connecting with the people that you used to be connected with. Okay, but you can always look for similar contacts to generate leads, especially when you talk about connecting with your prospects or your customers, similar customers, their competitors. You can write down as many people as you can remember from those groups, from the past people that you have met, and search for them. And then through their connections, you can be connected with their connections. Okay? So take a list of connections and start looking for them on LinkedIn. When you find them, do send them an invitation to connect. That's how you grow your network on LinkedIn. I know not all of you would have time to go for networking sessions every day, but I'm sure at any point in time you're able to go online and go on LinkedIn to catch up, right? To link up with people that you have met. That's important. And it's about reconnecting, right? At the end of the day, the power of your network is based on size of your network, how connected your network is, how well you know your network, how active your network is. So you must remember that your network is also your net worth, okay? So once you have your profile built, the next step is to get connected to the people you already know. We talked about this. Pull out old business cards if you still have them and search for them. Send invites to your offline contacts. If you have met someone yesterday and you got to reconnect with them on LinkedIn, hopefully they're on LinkedIn as well, right? Find your peers, join groups. Do remember, always be connecting. ABC. So that's really easy. Sharing is the social currency. So when you have more connections, you get more search results later on when you need to look for people. You get more profile views naturally as well. Okay? So there are different types of groups. They can be industry specific, specific to your schools, alumni, your corporate brand or product, your professional groups, or your local groups. So there are various groups that you can tap on. It really depends on your interests. And do turn virtual connections into relationships. I always do believe in omni-channel, right? In whatever sense. It can be for marketing, and in this case, in the networking. Nothing beats face-to-face, to be honest. If you can just meet up and have coffee, tea, and just chat and discuss what are some of the potential opportunities. So that definitely can accelerate any process. If that is your potential client, definitely face-to-face meetings will accelerate the entire decision-making process as compared to just LinkedIn messages. So do remember, do understand that personal branding is a proactive behavior. So you have to proactively take action to build your personal brand, to be known, and people remember brands that are memorable. So you have to constantly do something, right? Share things that are that will benefit the community. And do note that silent brands are those that we don't recall therefore don't use. And if we don't use, we don't value them. Okay? So top of mind recall is important. It is you and your brand that will be picked first and selected out of the many. And success of your personal brand is really dependent on how your brand actually helps others. Okay? So, but how do you portray yourself on LinkedIn? It has to be professional. You have to dress to impress for your profession. Okay? So it all really depends on what your profession is, and you dress appropriately and take an appropriate mugshot of it, right? So if it's, as you can see here, is like an example, a very corporate look versus a really casual look. But it really depends what kind of role that you're playing, what kind of persona that you want to portray. In reality, perhaps you're quite serious, but you want to portray a certain image because your business is in, you're an influencer, okay? And you're doing influencing marketing. Influencer marketing kind of strategies, you have to look your part, right? So how do you want to portray yourself? And what sort of look you want to portray, or post pictures of yourself serious, very very sporty, or really elegant, casual, or whatever. And for men, it's the same thing. What kind of clothes you wear? You usually wear shades, or but I do advise usually have a very neutral, serious, not say serious, but professional mugshot of yourself as the profile picture. Okay, these are models, examples of models. So unless you're a model, it's no need to look like that. Okay, so communicating you, silence is not golden in this case, and our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. So I've come to the end of today's presentation, so thank you so much for your kind attention. If you'd like to reach out to me, that's my email address, the websites that you can go to, and thank you so much. We hope that you have enjoyed today's session. If you have any questions, feel free to comment if you're a premium user on the Facebook closed group. And I look forward to seeing you again, and bye-bye.